make? No, I will not have time.
So, hello and welcome, all colleagues out there. So, for our episode number 20 already. So, what we started last summer during the lockdown or the corona crisis has become something on a weekly base. And I'm really proud and honored to go step back from we were in the US last week. So, we're going back to Europe and even go more to the east. And I'm really happy to have Nazariy with me. I can call you Nazariy, that's okay?
Perfect.
And especially I'm honored to have such a young colleague in front of me, even though you told me when we prepared our interview that you don't consider yourself young anymore, but I could almost be your father. So so it's like Darth Vader and Luke. So you're Luke. Luke Skywalker, and I'm following you for many years already. So even being so young, you're in the dental scene for quite a while. Maybe you can introduce yourself to the small number of dentists out there that don't know you, Nazariy.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Alessandro, for this invitation, especially from you. You know, such a big person in dentistry. For me, it's a big honor. And yeah, I think today we can have some nice conversation on different topics in dentistry. And even though I'm 34, I feel myself already not so young because, I started a while ago about doing all this dentistry, and stuff. And I was very happy to be able to learn from the big names, from people like Mauro Fredani, like Galib Gurel, like Pascal Magnier, like Domenico Masseroni, like Christian Koschmann, and many others. I think this was the biggest benefit that I had at the beginning. So right from the start, I had a chance to understand how the proper dentistry looked like, because many dentists out there in the world not usually have this chance. And that's why many of them are working many years without understanding, is it the right way, or maybe it's not really the right way. So I'm very thankful to those people, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing nowadays. Probably, to introduce myself and just to say a few words so people understand what we're up to, what we're doing, what are our preferences in dentistry and our profile. I would like maybe to show a really short presentation, even though it's an interview, but with the presentation, it will just be more understandable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will quickly switch to my presentation. So, I mean, that's the picture. That's not dental at all. It's me in 1990. So I was looking a little less fancy, another suit, as you can see. And those days, of course, I didn't understand yet that I'm going to be a dentist. And you could see that the quality of life was slightly different, let's say it like this. And later on, in 2004, I was really lucky to participate in the exchange program. So I went to US. I was spending 1 year in the high school in Oregon. And for me, it was a great chance actually to learn English. And, those days, I couldn't even realize how important English language will be in my life. Because, nowadays, as you know, 99% of all of the presentations worldwide, I'm doing in English. And then in 2005, I actually started medical school, dentistry. And you can see, I'm going to show you that technology that we had in dental school was not really like top technology, but we had what we had. And if I wanted to learn something good, I had to start learning mostly after university or in the last years of university. So reading books, looking for information online, and, just trying to raise the bar. I didn't want to stay on that level that I saw average. I understood that actually dentistry can be better, and all those big names, all those teachers that I was learning from, one day they also graduated, and one day they were students, but then they decided that they want to go one step further, and I tried to follow their steps. So basically nowadays, I am mostly focused on full mouth reconstructions. Starting from 2010, I started using microscope in my daily practice. First, I was using it mostly only for endodontic treatment because at the beginning, I was doing everything. I was doing hygiene, I was doing direct restorations, I was doing endo. And those days everybody was starting with endo when we speak about microscope. But then when I tried using it every single day, I realized that it's just comfortable. I mean, doesn't matter what you do, if it's a direct restorations, indirect restorations, or anything else in dentistry, because you have a nice position working with the patient, you have a great cooperation with your assistant, and of course, you see all the details much better because you can go with magnification up to 23 times. And I mean, imagine the tooth looks 23 times bigger than usual dentists see them in the patient's mouth. I mean, here on these parts of videos, you can see some examples how I see all those details when I work in the patient's mouth. But to be a prosthodontist is really difficult if you don't have a good support, if you don't have support like a nice lab. And in my specific case, it's really kind of unique because my lab technician that I work with is actually my father. And I'm very proud of my father as a specialist because, many years ago, he was doing metal crowns, that he switched to metal ceramic crowns. After that, he switched to the full ceramic restorations. And now, more than 4 years ago, we switched with him again to the digital dentistry. And the last 4 years, we are combining microscopic approach with the possibilities and benefits of digital dentistry. So yes, it's more than just dentistry when we speak about two of us. And sometimes it's really interesting and unique how we have to balance this family communication and also professional communication. But by far, we don't have any problems with this, and we are really enjoying our cooperation. The first clinic that we opened, it actually was in the small city. I will go to the next slide. It's called Ivano-Frankivsk. It's a small city on the west of Ukraine. And I was working there starting from 2008 until 2018. So basically 10 years. After this, actually the clinic looked like this, just a short picture to understand. And we had 3 dental chairs, photo video studio, so a usual setup. After this, I moved to the capital, and now the last 2 years and a half, I live in Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. It's a way bigger city. Even the population of my previous place where I lived was 250,000. So when we speak about Kyiv, it's over 3 million people, or even more, I don't remember. So it's like completely different location. And in Kyiv, I had a dream and a plan to open the clinic that can be actually focused on full mouth reconstructions and smile upgrades. So it's not a clinic just to make one filling or just to make one hygiene or just to make one endo. Our patients are people who come to make their dental health perfect. So we need to reestablish occlusion, we need to treat all the teeth, we need to put implants, we need to make veneers or crowns. If there are indications, we do it. So the patient enters and then leaves the clinic with everything done in their mouth and beautiful aesthetics as well. So according to our statistics, nowadays we have 80% of people who are doing full mouth reconstructions in our clinics and 20% of people who are doing smile upgrades, usually in combination with orthodontic treatment. And of course, in all 3 dental rooms, we have microscopes, as usually all of our specialists are working with the microscopes because it's a must-be, it's not something special. And in addition, of course, we are fully focused on digital dentistry. And by the way, now our lab is in Ivano-Frankivsk, so basically 700 kilometers away from Kyiv. We are in Kyiv, but because of using digital technology, there is no limits actually to send this information from the capital to the small city. It happens actually in the matter of minutes, 2-3 minutes, and all information is already in the lab, and this is how we communicate. So basically, this is how the clinic looks like. The focus was not to have too many patients at once in the office. So usually during the day, we can have 3-5 patients, not more. So working privately and working mostly focused on 1 or 2 people at once in the clinic, not more. So now when we speak about our brand, it basically consists of 3 sub-brands. First one is M.Vision Clinic. Another one is M.Vision Study Resort. So this is basically where we share knowledge with our colleagues. And M.Vision Lab. So it's a laboratory. And just few words, this is actually our study resort. This is where we teach colleagues, where we share knowledge. All the courses that we do are live patient courses. So this means that our colleagues see the whole workflow from A to Z with a real patient. So in 4 days, we are making for the patient a smile upgrade with the ceramic veneers. And again, from A to Z preparation, bonding, and all the steps, our colleagues from all around the world can see it under microscope. Plus, it has a very intense hands-on session, so all the participants are working with the microscopes, all the participants are working with the 3D scanners and the phantoms, and have a possibility to experience this digital workflow. This was always our dream, to create this type of setup for the courses, and now finally I can say our dream came true. Okay, so I think with the introduction that's enough, and now we can continue with the rest of the questions.
I'm just amazed how many things you have done in only, let's say, only a few years. So this is really terrific. So out of all this, what is your greatest dental passion? So I feel, looking at your images, hearing you speak, you're speaking, that you have a passion for dentistry. So I think this is correct. So, but in all this, what do you consider the greatest dental passion?
You know, many people ask me why I chose to be a prosthodontist. I respect all of the professions in dentistry, let's say like this, all of the directions, because without good endodontist or without good surgeon, I will not be able to make a good prosthodontics for my patient. But why I chose prosthodontics? Because when you change a patient, you really see a big change. So when you make the big smile upgrades with the help of orthodontists, with some prosto part, with a periodontist, and then you look at your patient before and after, and when you both look at the picture or you look on the video how we started and how we finished, you know, this is where you feel the biggest excitement and joy, you know, because only you as a specialist, only you know if you did everything right or no. No one else. Patient will never know if you did some mistakes in his or her mouth or you did everything good. But it's only you and your conscience. And I'm really enjoying when I know that my conscience is clean, that I did maximum that I could for my patients. And then, you know, it's a happy end. And, you know, I think you just remind me of one thing. I want to show you one video. And I think this video expresses the most what I'm trying to speak now. Okay, so I'm going to put the video on now. Just watch it.
I know it will be great, and I can wait to see myself. It will be so beautiful. I decided to go to the dentist because I wanted to change my looks and to have a better smile. I was doing modeling, so it didn't look good on me to have not such a good smile. My life changed a lot because I am more confident and smiling a lot now. I love how I look, and people see me differently now. And my Instagram account is a lot different now.
So basically, this is what I'm enjoying the most, when I have people like beautiful girls like this one who come with such not perfect smile. And of course, this is a great limit for the person. And then with the help of my colleagues, with the help of therapists, endodontists, surgeon, and of course, orthodontists, we go ahead and we change the smile from that one to this one. And here is the before and after. And again, what I like the most is actually when you look at the face, at the smile of the patient, how we actually started at the beginning and how we finished in the end of the story. And then you realize that it was worth it. All that work from you, for your team members, of course, they, split the life of this girl before and after. Let's say like this. So this is what I'm trying to explain with the slide. Is always easier sometimes than just
yeah. So what I see when I look at your presentations, I have already seen some of your presentations in the past. So then we come to the point. So you tell me you have a great passion for your work, but what I see is a very professional documentation, and this is something that we see more and more. And we discussed that already when we prepared this interview. So social media, and not only social media, media in general, have a big impact, or a increasing impact on our profession. So, and I know that you are also active on different channels. So maybe you can share, especially with our younger colleagues, what are your experiences? What do you recommend to do, or better not to do? Because I think, first of all, you need a good education, what you stated in the beginning. So become a good dentist. That should be the first goal. But what is then the next step? If you think, okay, I have learned from good dentists, I think I'm now ready to open my own practice or my own studio. Not everybody can do it like you are doing, or other famous dentists are doing. But what are your recommendations regarding this, for me, a little bit difficult combination of real life and virtual life?
Okay, let's speak like this. I think there are a few reasons for nice documentation. And now I'm going to speak about the reasons step by step. And number one means the most important, the priority. So I started taking pictures and making videos, first of all, for myself to analyze the level of what I'm doing. So, at the beginning, you take pictures of your cases, then you open the book, you look how big guys work, and then you're like, you cannot look at your own cases. You understand? So because making pictures and videos, it helps personally us to grow. Not making pictures and videos to put right away on Facebook, YouTube. You can put on Facebook or YouTube where you have something to put that is a good quality, but not just anything that you record. At the beginning, your documentation must be your judgment about your work. That's the point. And this is how we were learning, and this is how we still are working and learning with my father. We are finishing the case, we check all the pictures, we check the videos, and we are looking for the criticism in our cases. Because once, if we think that we are doing everything perfect, it means that the progress is over and we are going down. So we are always analyzing our cases. So the first reason to take pictures and make videos is for your personal growth. This is the point. Another thing is, for the videos and the pictures, is the patient communication. Because I'm always giving such an example for my patient. I'm saying, imagine that you are going to buy a car and you're going to the car store, and the manager in the car store tells you, listen, there is no car, but please pay me money for the car, and then in the end of the story I will show you how the car looks. I mean, it doesn't work like this in real life. First, we want to have a test drive, we want to have a look at it, and then once we realize what we are getting, then we are paying for this. The same story in dentistry. Quite often, many things can be promised, but not all of them can be done. So once we have pictures and videos of our cases, we can actually show to our patients some similar cases that we already fixed. So patient can realize our level and can realize what he or she can have in the end of the story. So this is a patient motivation part. And the third part is, of course, they can use it for the promotion in the social media. Because, of course, if you don't speak about yourself, only your father and mother will know that you are a good dentist. Let's say like this. You understand what I mean? In this modern world, you can be the best dentist in the world. And it's a pity, but just being a good dentist nowadays is not enough. We need to show our level, because there are many dentists in the world and everybody is trying to show his level. That's the point. So especially nowadays, when the social media is so active, and when you can see nice cases, you can see bad cases, and especially for the patients, it's super difficult to understand what is good and what is bad, because they are not professionals in dentistry. And that's why now we have to make even more work explaining to our patients why they should choose this and not choose that, because it's not good for their health. If to say like in a very, simple words, let's say like this. So making a summary about your question, for the young people, I would say, go ahead, take pictures and make videos first to become a good dentist. And then when you see that you have good results with the time, then of course use them to promote in front of your patients, to promote in front of your colleagues, and just, to communicate with your colleagues. And, for me personally, when I take pictures and make videos, for me, it's always additional motivation to try even better.
Yeah, okay, I see. But listening to your statements, this leads me a little bit to the point that marketing plays a more important role. It didn't play any role, or almost no role, when I started dentistry. So still, there are still some research that 66%, so 2/3 of your new patients are coming to your clinic to the word of mouth. So a happy patient tells his friend, her friends, her colleagues that I was in this M.Vision Clinic and I was so happy, and look at my nice teeth, and then they recommend you. But do you think this is still valid? So then we are talking about local. So you're in Kiev, then all your patients coming from Kiev, they go out and they go to a bar, and then somebody say, hey, oh wow, you have a nice smile, and then the patient tells, yeah, I was with Nazariy and he did this work, and then they want to go to you. But you also explain marketing will play a more important role, but this means in the consequence, you told me patients, and I agree with you, patients cannot really judge about the quality of the work they get. They can only judge, is it efficient? So how long did they or how much time did they spend in your office, and did it hurt? So one really important thing is to be a gentle dentist.
Yes.
So
gentle dentist.
It's like I'm always sending the sinus lifts, the sinus elevations are done by Ronnie Jung. And you know, after sinus elevation, often you have a swelling. You have you look really ugly. And then I place an implant in the lower, which is something that everybody can do, and the patient has no pain. And as a consequence, the patient tells me I'm better than Ronnie Jung. But it's two completely different things. But the patient only feels pain or no pain, and no pain means for the patient a better dentistry. But coming back to the other point, so how much money or time should a dentist invest in marketing?
I'll just continue, because you said a very good phrase, that it's all about the feelings, what patient felt, and like this emotional experience. But you agree that sometimes you can be gentle with the patient, and another doctor can be less gentle but more professional.
Yeah, I remember my first experience with Markus Hürzeler. Markus Hürzeler is a great surgeon, a great dentist. He was the dentist doing 5 CEREC inlays with me in 1986, and he was
1986 when I was born.
He was so rude. You know, he pushed. I had 8 hours rubber dam, and he was pushing, and I told him, "Hey, come on, be a little bit more gentle." He never had a cavity, so he had no experience how it felt to be the patient. So this is also something. He did a great job, but it was not a nice experience. So I think this is also something that we should tell young dentists to try to be also gentle.
You now are touching a very wide topic, and it's if to say the proper word, is called service. So basically, it's not only dentistry, but it's a dentistry plus service. So basically, which type of patient experience you create in your clinic. You know, in the past, when I was in the smaller city, and it was like maybe 5-7 years ago, for me, the main goal was only proper dentistry. I didn't care what patient felt, just like you were saying about your experience. I mean, if needed, patient had to be in the chair like 10 hours, but we are going for the high goal of the good quality dentistry, But then I understood one thing. Even if I have a great result in the end of the story, I mean dental result, but then I ask my patient, would you go through this path one more time? And the patient says no, it means it's not success. It means that patient will not recommend to his friend that, hey, well, I have these great teeth, please go to this dentist and you will have the same smile, because what he remembers the most are unpleasant feelings. I was never thinking about this in the past. For me, it was only the tooth, the microscope, super precision, nice aesthetics, and I never cared about the service. But what we understand nowadays, that the good quality dentistry must always be a combination of course, dentistry high level itself, plus a really nice service for the patient. I mean, how you behave with the patient, how you communicate, how gentle you are in the patient's mouth. All of these creates proper experience. Now, second part of your question. Of course, when your patient tells to his friends, I was in this dentist, of course, this always works, always the best. But also we need to understand, if we want to gain faster new patients, especially, let's imagine you open a new clinic. It's like me, it's like my case when I moved to Kiev. If I don't do any movements, and if I don't speak and show our cases, the cases of our team, if I don't show the results that we can create, then I can wait very long time when I collect 1 patient, 5 patients, 10, and then maybe in 20 years, I will have many patients around me. You understand what I mean? So to shorten that time, I need to show up to people what we can actually do, and by the way, if you look at the companies like Mercedes, if you look at the companies like Porsche or other companies, they have advertisement.
Yeah, but at the end, I like these comments this comment of Jan, and this leads also to the question I asked you in the beginning: what is your greatest dental passion? And even today, after many years in my practice, I think one of the biggest goals should be to transfer your passion to the dentist. And I think if you're to the patient, so if the patient knows or feels your passion, everything is much easier. The communication, your work, talking about money at the end, because this is also something that is getting more important. So even in Switzerland, considered a rich country, we have to talk more about money. We have more people who cannot afford the big treatments. So this is also a point about being efficient. Is not only being efficient to provide the best treatment, but also to provide the best treatment for the budget of the patient. So this is a combination. It's always nice to see full mouth reconstruction where money doesn't matter, and you can play around and do whatever you want. But at the end, sometimes you have also people in your office, and I think a lot of young colleagues have patients in their office where they struggle and they cannot do what they see on the stage. So this is, I think, also very important, I think.
Well, Alessandro, I will just tell you, I cannot tell for the others. I can just say how it worked in my life. In 2010, 90% of my cases were single crowns. Single crowns. I could only dream to have a full mouth reconstruction. So when I did my first case with a 6 frontal teeth, I had a feeling like I finished a full mouth reconstruction with 2 sinus lifts, bone grafts, and 25 implants and stuff like this, when I did my first 6 units. But then I had a goal. Again, we are always speaking about the goals. So we always have a choice. We can say, okay, this is enough for me. I mean, I can do small cases. Somebody likes this, and of course, this is their choice. For me, it was always interesting to work with cases like Mauro Fradani. So like big smile makeovers, big changes for the patient. And I was doing my best, so now finally, I can work with this type of patients. This is the point. I'll tell you more. In the past, I was doing many cases for free, just to learn how to do it right. And many people who know me, they know that many cases that I was showing in the past during the lectures were done for free, just to try this technique or to try that technique. So this is one more message to the young people. Don't see your goal, because some people go to become a dentist to start earning money from the beginning. And when you're doing your best, the money will come anyways in the future. I mean, they will not disappear. They will come, but never put them on the first place. This was the rule that I always remembered. Focus on your profession. And again, people who know us, who know me, my father, they know that we are kind of in a good way crazy when we speak about teeth. For us, teeth is the main topic everywhere. Outside the home, in home, at home, everywhere. So again, and then I tried to move to this direction. I wanted to have a goal to be able to finish the case in the proper way. So let's say 5 years ago, for me, it was difficult to convince people to make ortho. But nowadays, we have a statistics in our clinic, 85% of people are doing ortho before full mouth reconstruction. People who are 40 years old, people who are 50 years old. You understand? So it's a path. Nobody gets full mouth reconstructions next day after finishing university. That's the fact.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, you should not start with full mouth reconstruction, because you will fail. You will fail for sure. So I think this was also a question how to become a good dentist. But I think you answered these questions in the beginning. So try, because today, if you go to university, let's say in the old days we had more practical, hands-on training at the university. So this was dropped down with all the new education protocols. So dentists, when they finish university, they are not ready at all to be a dentist. And so this leads me also to the point, don't think that you can start immediately earning money. And I would recommend the young dentists. I don't know if you accept young dentists to come to your clinic and see how you work. So I have a lot of young dentists from university, because I'm very close to the university, that I offer them to just come to my clinic and see how I work. not for years, not for, but I think, and then talk to them and explain to them that you need to take some efforts. It's not an easy way to become a good dentist. So it's not that you can do home office or be 3 months on vacation. So it's hard work, and that's why I see that the numbers are a little bit changing. We don't have too many dentists around, and especially not too many good dentists. So but let's go back to something different. So you have your education center. I'm sure people can come and visit this education center. So do you offer like a curriculum, or is it just so this is also something that is very popular these days, so that this and you will become even more famous, I'm sure, so that maybe you in the future will offer a curriculum like other dentists around are doing? Or what are your goals in this direction to give your information or to share your knowledge with more dentists, and especially with more young dentists?
So our main focus when we were creating this study center was actually to create conditions that are at least the same as in your office. And I can tell you more, many dentists who come for our courses, they say they don't have all this technology and materials at home when they work. So it was my goal was to create a study center that is like a real office. So microscopes, all hand pieces with water, the phantoms, the 3D scanners, printers, so all the possible materials. I mean, everything is there to experience real life, let's say like this. In the past, we had 3 modules, so 4 days each module. So it was 12 days altogether, from planning to bonding. But then I opened the clinic in Kiev, and I have too many patients in Kiev. And that's why I had to reduce courses in my study center, because they take lots of time, let's say like this. It takes lots of work to collect people, and then I leave my office. For each course, I lose 6 days of my life. And during 6 days, for me, it's more comfortable to work with the patient, let's say like this. That's why for now, we have the professional live patient course, where we are focused on digital workflow. So in 4 days, people see how we design the new smile for the patient, how I transfer a mock-up, how I perform preparation under microscope. They can see it on the huge screen and another 3 TVs all around, because the video is coming through the microscope. So they see all the smallest details, let's say like this. Also, in front of them, my father is performing later on the 3D staining of the restorations live also. And they have 1 day of intense hands-on session. They perform also preparations, they perform scanning, they do isolation, and they bond veneers on the phantoms. And then on the final day, I do the bonding live in front of them. So also isolation, and I bond 10 units under microscope. We show a dry fit under microscope with magnification of 23 times on the huge screen to show that actually digital restorations can be precise if they're done correctly. And the big bonus, because the whole course is organized in our family hotel in the mountains on a ski resort, we always have 1 additional day. In winter, we go skiing or snowboarding, and in summer, we go, we take bicycles, we go in the mountains or quadricycles. So we really have fun. And a big plus is that all the participants stay in 1 hotel. So that means that the course is not over at 7 o'clock. The course continues during the dinner, and then usually we stay up until 12 or 1 o'clock at night, speaking about dentistry, all of us from all around the world.
Yeah. So these days it has become a little bit more difficult. So I think also in Ukraine, the situation is not ideal. And I think this corona virus will keep us up and running for a longer time. So what are your thoughts about this? So by the way, you told me that you already got the vaccination?
No, not yet. Me not yet, but I'm going. Not yet, but I'm going to.
Because it's important. It's an important message that we tell people out there that they should go and do this. I was at the beginning a little bit skeptic. Then our oldest son told me, look, when 50 years ago they came up with asbestos, I don't know the term in English. So this was a construction material that after 40 years it came out that it was cancerogene, that it was not good for your health. And he told me, look, you cannot wait 50 years until you know that something is not good, because now we face this situation and we have to do something. So even if you're a little bit skeptic against the vaccination, I think we as doctors, we should do this, and not only to protect ourselves, but to protect our patients. So just this is like a side comment that I want to share, and I hope that you agree also on this.
I completely agree with you. And speaking about that, this year, this Corona year, I like to call this year, it's like the year for the patients. The year where we have more time to work with our patients, when we have more time to finish more cases, the year where we can take more pictures, the year where we can make more videos, for those who are lecturing or maybe doing some courses. So it's a great year to collect material. So, you can always find benefits in every situation. It's also a year that you can spend more with your family. That's the point,
Absolutely. So this brings me to a point that we also discussed. So I know that you have a huge library of beautiful cases, and as editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry, I would really love to have you as one of our authors. But this is like a side comment to get the connection between your beautiful work and my editorial work. And I also want to motivate other potential authors out there, or young people, to go there, to look at the journal, to get this journal also as a motivational tool, because I think the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry is, or one of the goals of this journal is also to motivate people to see what can be done with proper documentation, good treatment planning, good manual skills, good treatment, being nice with the patients. And then you see in most of this, or almost in all these publications, you see at the end happy patients. So, and this is also something that I would love to see, not only one, but maybe several articles out of your school. And this leads also to another question that was asked: do we really need a microscope?
Okay, I'll go step by step.
Yes.
So first of all, it will be my pleasure actually to post a case, to share a case with you. We have many cases with the recalls and really nicely documented. And I think the Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry is a really good filter for the good quality dentistry. That's the point, because what can be confusing for young people nowadays is that amount of information that is everywhere in Facebook, in some groups in Facebook. I mean, sometimes I look and honestly, I'm really wondering, and in Instagram, and it's the good and bad mixed a lot. So now again, for young people, it's quite difficult to differentiate what is good and what is bad. And I think things like Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry, it's a great source of information, of a good quality information. Speaking about microscope, we always speak what is good for a patient, and of course microscope is great for a patient, because a doctor can see an object up to 23 times bigger. And you don't need to be a dentist to understand that what you can see better, you can actually do better. But another great benefit of microscope is actually the health of a dentist himself, because you can work in the proper position. You don't need to be too much focused with your eyes, especially with years when your eyesight goes down. You can be fully relaxed. You can be away from the patient, especially in this COVID time. You don't need to stick your nose almost in the patient's mouth, because so you are safe. You are away from the patient. And when they are coughing or sneezing or whatever, again, there is a distance, so you are more safe. You have way better ergonomics and cooperation with your assistants. And of course, it's way better for your back. So that's why it doesn't matter if you're doing endo. It doesn't matter if you're doing direct or indirect. is just a great tool for every dentist. And in our 2 clinics, all of the dentists are working with the microscopes. And for them, it's a must be. It's nothing special. It's like having a handpiece, let's say like this.
Yeah, but it's interesting that the diffusion of microscopes is very low. It's even lower than I'm always citing. You know how many dentists use an intraoral scanner?
Oh, I don't know the latest statistics. Maybe 0.5%.
No, it's about 2 to 3% of 2 million dentists. So and I think microscope is even less. But no, I'm just saying that
Ukraine, you have microscope almost in every clinic.
Yeah, but the problem is, are they using it? It's like I remember the days when in Germany every dentist was buying a laser because the other dentists close by also had a laser, and they only bought the laser because the sales rep was so clever, telling, "Look, I was in Nazariy's clinic and he bought 2 lasers." And then I say, "Oh, Nazariy has 2 lasers. I also want one." And even if you don't use it. So technology, for me, it's important. Technology is good, but you have to use it. You have to learn it. So I think I was many times thinking, should I invest in a microscope or not? But then it's related to a learning curve. You have to change a lot of things in your office. And so I'm still sticking with my loops because when I work with the patient, I always move around my patient. So when I prep a tooth, I think it's not possible to judge the orientation of your preparation by just looking from one side.
You're not looking from one side. You have a mirror.
Yeah. But still. So, but everybody has his own concept and own ideas. But I completely agree that the microscope is a great tool. CAD/CAM are great tools. So there are a lot of great tools.
I'll tell you more. I have quite many patients who come to my office because they are Googling a lot. They are learning. They are checking the social media, and they understand that the microscope is important because I have many videos that show the example how close I can see the margin and all the other details. And people have a clear understanding that basically magnification is important. And it's important also not just for the doctors, it's also important to have for the dental technicians, to have a nice precision of the restorations. And, patients already understand it. So they come and they ask, do you use microscope?
Yeah, no. No, again, I completely agree with your statements, and I think this is. I could go on and talk with you for hours, but I have always told don't talk too long. My wife always told me don't talk too long because it gets boring at the end. I think we have strived a lot of important things, and I'm sure that our ways will cross, and that I will invite you again for sure, because these interviews, someday the number of dentists or people I can talk to is exhausted. So I will start over from the beginning, because I think it's really interesting, and it's also interesting to talk with somebody like you, maybe in 1 or 2 years, and see what has changed, because I think the world is in a changing situation. A lot of things are changing. The whole economy is changing. So this coronavirus was not only something that calmed us down, but was also the origin of a lot of changes that will also impact dental work or the dental world for sure. And but still, I'm happy to have you here. It was really interesting to talk to you. Maybe you can say some final words. I always have to talk about the International Journal of Aesthetic Dentistry, because I'm you might know I'm the editor-in-chief. So please follow us on Instagram. Follow us also on Facebook, and also my other photography hobby. So I'm also happy that Nazariy, you're following also my Instagram account about dental photography, my other passion beside CAD/CAM digital technologies and talking to people like you. So thank you very much for taking your time, for being here. And I give you the last words, Nazariy.
Thank you. First of all, Alessandro, I want to thank you for doing all this work, because, I also work with the social media, and I can only imagine how much of your time you need to invest in all this. Maybe only people who never try to do this, they don't understand, but I completely understand, and it takes lots of time if you want to create any type of high quality product, and specifically like a nice interview to organize all of this. It takes time, so we really appreciate it. And also working with your Instagram account, also working with the page on the Facebook, that's a big amount of work. So thank you from me personally for sure. Speaking to the young dentists, I want to say that we are very lucky. Okay, I will say I'm also still young.
Yes,
we are very lucky. Why we are so lucky? Because we have so many smart people to learn from. And this is most important. I mean, they already created for us workflows. They created for us the techniques. They wrote for us books. Don't be lazy. Don't run straight to the patient's mouth. First, go ahead, read those books, learn those techniques. And if you do it in the proper way, you will have a really nice shortcut to become a nice dentist. But again, don't skip those steps. Otherwise, it will not work. Again, your success, everybody sees success in different things. Somebody sees success in happy patients, somebody sees success in a big clinic or something like this. But anyways, your success is only in your hands. So I can only wish you good luck and lots of, passion, strength, and to move forward.
Super. Perfect last words. Thank you very much, Nazariy. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hope to see you soon also in person. Thank you very much.
Big pleasure.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.